Hi, I'm Brenda Quintana coming to you from the Beehive. Today I'm going to show you how to make my Hershey's Easter basket. I've streamlined it from my original version to make it even easier. Wouldn't these make a cute Easter gift? Let me show you how. So to start off with, we're going to need our scoring board. And I'm going to need a strip of cardstock that is 9 inches long by 1 inch wide. And I'm going to put it the 9-inch side up at the top of my scoring board. And I am going to score this at the 5/8 inch mark, at the 1 3/4 inch mark, at the 3 3/4 inch mark, and the 7-inch mark. Put this aside. And I'm going to fold this along the score lines. Just inward along the score lines. Okay, so you've got it just bent on the score lines like that. Then you're going to take some Tombow glue, and I do recommend that you use Tombow because it really sticks well. Okay, so I'm just on this tab end, on the shortest end, I'm going to put some Tombow. You can see about how much I put on there. And then I'm going to line it up, and I'm going to make it into this trapezoid shape. I'm just going to hold this just for a few seconds just to make sure my cardstock has a tight bond. Let me turn this for you so you can see. It's like a trapezoid, okay? And you can set that aside. And actually I need to set it all the way aside. I need to bring in my scoring tool again, and I'm going to remove the markers off of here. And this time I'm going to need a piece of cardstock that is 11 inches by 1 inch. So I'm going to put the 11-inch side all along the top, and now I'm going to score this piece at every inch mark. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So every inch increment I have scored this. Let me put this aside again. Okay, and so now we need to fold this strip. So the easiest way I have found to fold the strip is you're going to fold down 2 in the same direction. Then you're going to flip it over and fold down 2 again, flip it over, fold down 2 again, flip it over, fold down 2, flip it over, fold down 2. Basically, when you bring this together, it will become a series of triangles. You bring this together like that, okay? And that is what we're going to put into the top of my trapezoid piece. So just make sure it's kind of facing the right way, and then you're going to just stick that right at the top. You can kind of see how it's fitting in at the top here. Okay, now we need to set that aside for a second. Bring back my scoring tool again. What we're doing is we're creating filler strips to help the Hershey's Kisses stay in place. Okay, so this strip is going to be 7 inches by 1 inch long, and we are going to put that up at the 7-inch side up at the top, and we're going to score this also on the inch mark. So 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, and 6 inch mark. Okay, and put the scoring tool aside. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold down 2 of the score lines, and I'm going to turn it and fold down 2 again. I'm going to turn it and fold down 2 again. So when you bring this in, you've got a series of triangles. You can kind of see how that comes together. Okay, and we're going to put that at the bottom of this little guy. Huh, I need to go get some Hershey's Kisses. I'll be right back. Okay. Whoa. All right, I came back with some Hershey's Kisses. So now we need to insert the kisses into my shape. So I'm going to start off with inserting all the ones that point upwards. Okay. I like to put the point in first and then rotate the bottom in. And then I'm going to rotate this for a moment because I find it easier to work this way. So then I'm just going to go ahead. I'll have one more to put on this side. They all do fit in there. Sometimes you have to just kind of shift it around a bit. You need enough tension in these designs so that the Hershey's Kisses stay in without falling out, but not so much that it makes it impossible to get them in. So I think you can see that these little Hershey's Kisses will stay in the basket unless you want them out. Then, you know, once you start popping them out, they'll all come loose. But for now, these are going to stay in there fairly well. Okay, so let me scoot those kisses aside. And now we're going to need to create a handle for our basket. So you'll want to cut yourself a piece of cardstock that is 10 inches by a half an inch. And also I've cut a coordinating piece of Designer Series paper in 10 inches by half an inch. So they're both the same size, but they both actually are the same color. This color I'm using is called Lost Lagoon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Tombow, and on my cardstock strip I'm just going to put some Tombow glue. The reason I'm doubling up this basket handle is to give it more strength, and the reason I'm using Designer Series paper on top is to give it a little bit of, to make the handle look a little prettier. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and I'm just making sure it's even all the way along. Okay, so now that has a little bit of strength because I've got both paper and cardstock holding it together. And then we're going to take one of the ends. I'm going to use the cardstock side, and I'm just going to put a little bit of Tombow on one of those ends. And then I'm going to take my basket, and I'll put one of the top sides here. I'm going to put this down, make sure it's centered. This is half an inch wide, and the basket itself is 1 inch wide. So I'm just going to hold that there for a second, letting the Tombow do its work. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some Tombow on the other side, and then we can bend this around, and the basket, I'm just going to hold that for a few seconds until it holds. It also gives you some time to shift it into position if you don't like where it's at. Okay, I think it's getting where I want it. Okay, that looks kind of cute. Okay, so now I thought it would be kind of nice to have a little greeting on the top of the basket. So I've cut myself a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and this piece is 3.5 inches by half an inch. And I'm going to take the same color of ink as I've used for my cardstock, which is Lost Lagoon. And then I've taken the Happy Easter, it's actually 2 stamps, it's Happy and Easter, from this Crazy About You stamp set. And I have lined them up on one of my little acrylic blocks. And I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my Happy Easter. Okay, and I just want this, I want it centered on the piece of cardstock. That's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do, let me put my ink pad aside so I don't get my fingers in it. So then what I want to do is I want to create a little banner out of this. So the best way to do that is I'm going to make a little pencil mark on either side of my greeting, about I'd say about 1/4 inch and centered. I think you can see that. I just a pencil mark here and a pencil mark there. And then I'm going to take my 1-inch square punch and open it up. And I'm going to use the corner to create the V of my banner. So I'm going to just scoot this in from the side here. And I'm going to find my pencil mark. That's my guide. And then I'm just going to put that pencil mark right in the corner of my square. And then I'm going to make sure that this looks even in the corner, that kind of there's the same amount of length on either side showing. Because if I turn it a little bit like this, I'm going to have a different kind of V, which, I mean, wouldn't look bad. But if you want them symmetrical, you're going to keep this shape in here symmetrical too. You're just going to punch that. You can do the other side too. Find your pencil mark and then punch. Okay. And then we'll bring my basket back and put a little bit of Tombow on the back of my banner. And then we can, upside down, put the banner right on the top there. Glue it down. Okay, so you can see how I have my little greeting up there. It just makes it a little bit more festive. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to add some ribbon to this. And I've got this Lost Lagoon paper has a matching ribbon in the stitch satin ribbon. It's really kind of pretty and shiny. You know, I've got the whole thing matching. I've got cardstock, designer series paper, and I've got a bow. I've tied it with a stitch satin. And what's really good for sticking these down are these little glue dots. And I don't know, you can probably barely see that, but you can take your bow and stick it right on one of the glue dots and then lift it off. And there's a little bit of a glue dot right on the bottom of that. So then all I have to do is stick that right here on my Easter basket. And then that just adds kind of like that last little final touch. And then you have this be really great little gift idea for Easter time. And I've made them in different colors so you can, you know, have them sitting out and kind of cute. Have them at your brunch or something for Easter. I don't know, I think that would look kind of cute. Anyway, all the supplies that you'll need to make this basket are available for purchase on my blog. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Bye for now.